In this video, we're going to be talking about Laviska Shenault and how you can make an impact in fantasy football for 2021. Let's do it! Yeah! What's going on, guys? It's Bruce Matson, your host of the show, Metric Scout Fantasy Football. And I just received a request in the comments from one of the prior videos to cover Laviska Shenault. Provide my thoughts, my views, what I think about him, how he can be successful, and just giving a good rundown on him. And I do this for Dynasty, Redraft, Fantasy, all the above. So if that's something you're interested in, hit that subscribe button. And if you got a player you're interested about me talking about, you like the way I break things down, drop your recommendations in the comments. And if I think I can do it, I'll drop a video for you. I'm here to please the people, but today is all on Laviska Shenault. Laviska Shenault is a very interesting prospect due to his price tag, due to his potential, and due to that Trevor Lawrence coming in. But his collegiate profile was very fascinating. Over 1,000 yards receiving and 6 touchdowns his sophomore season. Would have had another gangbusters year if he would have been able to stay healthy. Injuries played a part in his collegiate profile. Also had some rushing yards too. Back-to-back seasons with over 100 rushing yards, so he can be used in the run game. Jacksonville used him in the run game as well. It's very enticing to use him there because he's built like a running back. He's 6'1", 227 pounds. We don't have a really great gauge on his speed. We know he's a good size-adjusted athlete, but remember, he kind of tweaked himself at the combine, but he did register a 78th percentile size-adjusted speed score, and he does show good athleticism on the field. Sometimes it's just better to see the athleticism on the field than at the combine because not all the time 40-time speed translating to the NFL. Dominator rating was solid, over 35%. So we got ourselves a size-adjusted athlete that was productive in college. The only big red flag was the injuries. That is not a deal breaker. Injuries happen, and it just happens. It's just part of the course. We got to monitor that, and that's kind of baked into his price tag anyways. If he wasn't getting injured and he was getting all the touches, a large touch share, he'd be a lot higher price tag. Right now, he's currently the wide receiver 33 in Dynasty according to DLF's ADP, making him around somewhere between 6th, 7th, and 8th round pick. Right now, startup drafts are very volatile, so you could catch him floating or dropping. Depends. It really depends how you got your draft structured, how you're doing your rookies. If you're just drafting rookie picks, if you get the rookies in there, if you don't have rookies in there. I don't want to say he's going in this round, but your draft is this way and he slides down a few spots or whatever. But for being a young wide receiver who has a good athletic profile, a good collegiate production profile, there's a lot to like about that when you bake that into his price tag, even though the injuries were there periodically throughout his career. Things I see from a statistical standpoint, he had a 6.24 average at the target, 493 air yards, and had 11.77% of the air yards. So he's not getting the deep targets as of last year. And I say as of last year because Trevor Lawrence is coming in, new coaching staff, new offense, everything new, everything fresh. So I can't see him maintain that low of an ADOT for his entire career. That's got to bump up eventually, especially with Lawrence there. I imagine they're going to take advantage of that, have Shenault run some deeper routes. He's also only had 5 targets of 20-plus yards and reeled in 3 of those, which is a pretty good ratio considered those are higher acuity targets. They're harder to reel in, so reeling in 3 out of 5. And he's got the size to be used on that standpoint, and I get it. He's really good around the line of scrimmage. He's really good at getting yards after the catch. Matter of fact, he had 298 yards after the catch and 5.2 yards after the catch per reception. So I can definitely be on board using them a lot for screens and stuff, but I can see that ADOT slowly shift. I don't see him being a deep threat ever, but that ADOT's going to go up a little bit, but I don't know about how much, but it does need to go up for him to be more fantasy relevant. He does need that ADOT to go up a little bit because he just needs some deeper balls, some deeper attempts to help him out. And also needs more volumes of targets. 15%, I'd like to see that go up to like 18-ish. I don't think he needs to be a 20-25% target share guy to be a dependable wide receiver too, because he's getting you those yards after the catch. Once he establishes himself a lot better, establishes his role, gets more yards after the catch, and proves himself on that, then he's going to get more targets, and he wins kind of like, it's not a comparison, but it's a way, kind of like a similar way of winning. And it's with A.J. Brown, like bullying guys at the catch point and then instantly accelerating, getting the top gear and getting those yards of the catch. That's what Shenault can do. I imagine they're going to switch things up a bit and use him more on slants and stuff to where they can take advantage of that. Because you got 6'1", 227-pound wide receiver you can put in the slot, and he can do more than just take some handoffs, catch some balls around the line of scrimmage. You can really pump them out there a little bit and take advantage of that and get them in some one-on-one situations with smaller DBs. They're smart enough, they're creative enough to work them around. And he had a good QB rating when targeted. It's 199 QB rating when targeted is real solid. Of course, the Trevor Lawrence factor is going to elevate all ships once he gets more established. 2021 for redraft, it may be a little skeptical because you don't know what a rookie quarterback's going to do, even though this is an elite level caliber rookie quarterback. But you still want to have those grains of salt in there. However, we could see a big boost instantly. This is a big boost in quarterback play. This should impact him instantly and should get better from there. I have a good feeling about that. I feel like the targets are going to be better, and I feel like he's going to get deeper targets as well. I think he's going to be used a little better. They're going to get him in camp, and they're going to realize they got something good going with Shenault, and Trevor Lawrence is going to see that. Of course, the coaching staff's going to see that. They may manufacture a few plays, but what's important is Trevor Lawrence, what he sees, how comfortable he feels in the pocket, how well Shenault's playing with him, how well he's getting open, and that rapport coming together, and then that could be a marriage. And other things that could disrupt this from a short-term, long-term perspective, we have DJ Chark, who's a good wide receiver. He's a very good player. He's just not an elite-level alpha. He's a field stretcher. He can make plays. He's a good player. He's just not the type of player that you want to bank on to be like a Kenny Galladay type-esque player. And then they signed Marvin Jones, older wide receiver in his 30s. Will play a little bit in the slot, a little bit outside. Will be like the mentor, the older guy, the veteran for a wide receiver group. Good player. Again, not a great player, though. So Laviska could shine here. If he develops, if he takes a step forward, and he shows himself in camp, he can shine over these two wide receivers. Another thing you want to think about is if this coaching staff gets in here and they're like, we don't like DJ Chark. We don't like him at all. Matter of fact, there's rumors they were getting ready to trade him to Baltimore. There's rumors on that. So they may feel like they need to upgrade a wide receiver. And when you get a quarterback, you pay up 101 for a quarterback like Trevor Lawrence. You want to make sure they have everything they need to succeed, or at least you should feel that way. So I would not be surprised if they bring in a couple good wide receivers from this draft. I would say a couple. You're talking about maybe a top 100 wide receiver and top 100 picks, maybe one or two, and then definitely some shots in the back half of the draft. You just want to set your young quarterback up for success. And if they don't double dip a wide receiver this year, say they only get one somewhere along the line, I imagine they're going to come back next year and try to get some more. And it's not like they think Shenault's bad. I don't know what they think about Chark. It's more like, I want to get the weapons. I want to make sure everything's humming for Lawrence. We paid this premium. We lost the season. We got 101. We're lucky to get him. Let's do things right. I'm Urban Meyer. I was successful at Ohio State, Utah, and Florida. I want to prove that I'm more than just a college coach. So I want to make sure my young investment has everything it needs. You're going to see some moves made. And it's better to have 5 good wide receivers than 1 or 2. And that's how they're looking at that from a team building standpoint. Laviska Shenault, I see the average depth of target going up a little bit. I would like it to go up significantly, but I don't think that's going to happen due to his role and his style of play. But I think his ADOT's going to go up a little bit. I think he's more than capable of eating some more target share and getting around the 18% range, pushing for 20%. And I think that's going to elevate his fantasy football prowess. I think he's going to be a very solid wide receiver too, with some upside. I think he's a great long-term play. I love him with Trevor Lawrence. I think the longer he's with Trevor Lawrence, the better. So I like him even better for 2022, 2023 when Lawrence is fully acclimated and he knows what he's got. He knows what he's got, and he feels good with what he can do on the field. He feels good with who he's playing with. He knows the system. He knows how to play in the NFL. Once Lawrence is acclimated, you can see a boost in Laviska Shenault. I imagine him being a security blanket for him. I think Shenault is going to be a very good player. The thing about wide receiver is that it is a pool of a lot of very good wide receiver prospects. I mentioned it the other day, like there's like 50, 60 wide receiver twos are considered wide receiver twos, and we're just getting more and more talent every year with the draft. Deep draft this year, we'll have a deep draft next year at the position, and eventually it's just going to create a little bubble, and he may be caught into that, and it doesn't mean he's bad. It means that he's just in a mix of a lot of good players. And when you think about this, he's at a good value considering where he's at wide receiver 33, there's probably some wide receivers getting drafted ahead of him who will probably provide similar results compared to what he's doing. But Laviska Shenault, being paired with Trevor Lawrence, getting a new offensive system, things are looking up. I like him. I like his price. I'm good to go drafting him where he's at. I want to thank you guys for watching the show. If you've paid attention this long, listen to me ramble, then you're obviously interested. Might as well hit that subscribe button. I'm bringing out football content all day long, 7 days a week, all over the place. Find me on Twitter at Metric Scout. Ring that bell, tell your homies, and I'll catch you next time.